Thinking beyond aliens, we're finally uncovering what Area 51 actually hid for decades. For years, its impenetrable secrecy fueled speculation about otherworldly visitors. But what if the strangest things seen in the Nevada sky weren't alien at all? Discover the revolutionary top-secret aircraft created during the Cold War and the critical reasons the government couldn't and wouldn't tell the truth until now. July 1947. The dusty plains of Roswell, New Mexico became the unlikely stage for an event that would sow the seeds of a global enigma. A local rancher, W. Brazel, stumbled upon strange debris scattered across his property. Initial reports, fueled by the local newspaper, spoke of something extraordinary, a flying disc in the hands of the United States Army. Just as quickly as the sensational news broke, it was retracted. The military issued a swift and definitive explanation. The debris was nothing more than a downed weather balloon. Case closed, they declared. But for a growing number of people, the explanation felt incomplete. Questions lingered. What kind of weather balloon left such unusual wreckage? And why the sudden reversal? Decades would pass before the name Area 51 entered the public consciousness, a shadowy airbase nestled deep within the Nevada test and training range. But as tales of its clandestine activities began to surface, of unusual aircraft and impenetrable secrecy, a connection, however speculative, was inevitably drawn back to the mysteries of Roswell. The narrative took hold. If the government was concealing something so diligently in the Nevada desert, could it be the same something that crashed in Roswell years prior? The idea of recovered alien technology, hidden away in a top-secret facility, began to permeate popular culture, fueling decades of speculation and intrigue. While the extraterrestrial explanation for Roswell and its potential connection to Area 51 would capture the imagination of millions, the reality behind the Nevada base was rooted in a very different kind of secret, one born not of alien encounters, but of terrestrial conflict and technological ambition. The mid-1950s. The world was on edge, locked in a silent war fought in the shadows. In the remote, unforgiving landscape of Nevada, something was stirring. A clandestine project, shrouded in absolute secrecy, was taking root in a place known only to a select few. Its purpose, to push the very boundaries of aviation, to gain an unseen advantage in a dangerous world. Within the sprawling Nevada test site, amidst a labyrinth of numbered zones and restricted airspace, a specific area was carved out for this top-secret endeavor. Its designation on the internal maps was simple, almost sterile: Area 51. But behind this unremarkable label lay a world of classified operations, far removed from public scrutiny. The name itself offered no clue to the revolutionary work being conducted within its boundaries. No grand moniker, no evocative title, just Area 51. This very anonymity served as a shield, a deliberate attempt to conceal the extraordinary reality hidden beneath a commonplace designation. Why such intense secrecy for something so seemingly ordinary? Even before the whispers of alien encounters began to circulate, the air around Groom Lake was thick with unspoken secrets. The extreme measures taken to guard this location, the deliberate obfuscation of its true purpose. These actions themselves would eventually fuel the very questions the government sought to suppress. What was so valuable, so sensitive, that it demanded such absolute isolation? The name Area 51 was a bureaucratic whisper in the vast Nevada desert, but the intense secrecy that surrounded its inception would soon amplify that whisper into a roar of speculation, intertwining with the lingering questions of Roswell and giving rise to theories that stretched far beyond the confines of terrestrial technology. The urgency was palpable. The Cold War had cast a long shadow, and the threat of nuclear annihilation loomed large. Understanding the capabilities and intentions of the Soviet Union was paramount to national security, but their vast and often inaccessible territories presented a critical intelligence gap. Traditional methods of surveillance were proving inadequate. Enter the U-2, a revolutionary aircraft designed to fly at unprecedented altitudes, far beyond the reach of contemporary Soviet air defenses. Its mission, to conduct clandestine reconnaissance flights over enemy territory, capturing vital intelligence, photographs of military installations, troop movements, and technological developments. The very existence of the U-2 program was a closely guarded secret. If the Soviets had discovered its capabilities, the implications were dire. It could have led to increased international tensions, potentially even escalating the Cold War. Protecting the technology and the missions was not just a matter of national pride, it was a matter of global security. The remote and isolated location of Groom Lake was integral to maintaining this secrecy. The vast emptiness of the Nevada desert provided a natural buffer, minimizing the chances of accidental discovery or unwanted attention. The designation Area 51 became synonymous with this intense need for concealment, a place where cutting-edge technology could be developed and tested far from prying eyes. The initial veil of secrecy surrounding Area 51 was born out of necessity, a crucial element in a high-stakes global conflict. But this very secrecy, intended to protect vital national interests, would inadvertently create a vacuum of information, a void that would soon be filled with speculation, rumor, and theories far stranger than the advanced aircraft being tested within its hidden confines. Imagine standing in the vast expanse of the Nevada desert in the 1950s, the silence broken only by the whisper of the wind. Then, breaking that silence, a sound unlike anything you've ever heard. Looking up, you see something equally unfamiliar slicing through the sky, a shape that defies conventional aeronautics, moving in ways that seem impossible. It weren't no airplane, too high, too fast, and no wings like I ever saw. It was more like a silver cigar, just glinting in the sun. It just appeared out of nowhere, silent as a ghost. Then it banked and was gone in a blink. It was flat, almost like a plate, but it caught the light funny. We'd see them at dusk, these strange lights dancing in the sky. Not like landing lights, more fluid, eerie, like they weren't bound by gravity. These weren't just fleeting glimpses. For those who witnessed these anomalies, the encounters often left a lasting impression, a sense of bewilderment, even unease. They grappled to reconcile what they saw with their existing understanding of the world. Their attempts to explain these phenomena to others were often met with skepticism or ridicule, further isolating their experiences. These personal, often profound encounters became the raw material for the burgeoning UFO narrative. Individuals genuinely struggling to understand what they had witnessed found resonance in the idea of extraterrestrial visitors, and in the face of official silence, or outright denial, these explanations gained traction, filling the void left by a lack of credible information. The secrecy surrounding Area 51, intended to protect national security, inadvertently amplified the impact of these eyewitness accounts. By refusing to offer any explanation for the unusual aerial activity, the government inadvertently validated, in the minds of many, the more extraordinary interpretations. The silence spoke volumes, even if it intended to say nothing at all. These early, often innocent encounters, filtered through the lens of personal experience and official silence, laid the groundwork for a decade of increasing UFO sightings and the growing belief that something truly extraordinary was happening in the skies above Area 51. The mid-20th century was a crucible of both terrestrial fear and celestial wonder. The shadow of nuclear war hung heavy, fueling anxieties about unseen threats. Simultaneously, the dawn of the space age ignited a powerful curiosity about what lay beyond our world. This unique confluence of fear and fascination created fertile ground for the imagination to take flight, seeking answers in the skies above. The late 1950s and the 1960s witnessed an explosion of interest in unidentified flying objects. The anxieties of the Cold War, coupled with a burgeoning fascination with space exploration, created a cultural landscape ripe for speculation about visitors from other worlds. In this environment, the unexplained sightings around Area 51 took on a new, more sensational meaning. The eyewitness accounts from the Nevada desert, often describing unconventional aircraft maneuvering in ways that defied known technology, became intertwined with this growing global phenomenon. Area 51, with its intense secrecy and the undeniable presence of unusual aerial activity, became a focal point. A logical, albeit speculative, place for these extraterrestrial encounters to be occurring. The human mind has a natural tendency to seek patterns and explanations, especially in the face of the unknown. When confronted with genuinely inexplicable aerial phenomena, and in the absence of official information, the idea of advanced technology, terrestrial or extraterrestrial, often fills the void. The repeated association of strange sightings with the mysterious Area 51 likely amplified this effect, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of belief. As the sightings continued and the official silence persisted, a distinct believer subculture began to emerge. Driven by shared experiences, a distrust of official narratives, and a genuine desire to understand the unknown, these individuals formed communities, shared stories, and developed their own interpretations of the UFO phenomenon, often with Area 51 at its center. This created a powerful feedback loop, where each new unexplained sighting or leaked rumor further solidified the belief in a hidden truth within the Nevada desert. From the government's perspective, the secrecy surrounding Area 51 was paramount for national security. However, their consistent denial and lack of transparency inadvertently fostered a deep-seated distrust among a significant portion of the population. This distrust extended beyond just UFOs, contributing to a broader skepticism towards official narratives and creating an environment where alternative explanations, no matter how outlandish, could gain traction. The UFO era wasn't just about strange lights in the sky. It was a complex interplay of societal anxieties, cultural imagination, personal experiences, and governmental secrecy. It laid the foundation for the enduring mystique of Area 51, transforming a remote test facility into a potent symbol of hidden truths and the enduring human quest to understand our place in the cosmos, even if that understanding meant challenging the very nature of reality as we knew it. Bob Lazar's emergence wasn't just about sensational claims, it tapped into deep-seated human desires. His narrative offered a tantalizing glimpse behind the ultimate forbidden door, proof of extraterrestrial visitation and advanced technology. In a world grappling with uncertainty, his seemingly authoritative insider account provided a concrete, albeit extraordinary explanation for the persistent UFO mystery surrounding Area 51. It was a story that resonated with those who felt the government wasn't telling the whole truth. In 1989, the Area 51 narrative took a dramatic and unprecedented turn. A man named Bob Lazar emerged, claiming to have worked at a secret facility near Papoose Lake, just south of Groom Lake. His revelations would catapult Area 51 from a shadowy rumor into the epicenter of alien conspiracy theories. Lazar claimed he was a physicist who had been hired to reverse engineer extraterrestrial spacecraft at a site he referred to as S4. He described 9 different alien disks, each with unique propulsion systems powered by Element 115, a substance then unknown to mainstream science. His testimony was detailed, technical, and utterly sensational. What made Lazar's story so compelling was its level of detail. He didn't just say there were UFOs, he described their alleged propulsion systems, the layout of the secret S4 facility, and even the purported alien beings he encountered. This technical jargon and insider knowledge lent an air of credibility to his claims, particularly among those already inclined to believe in extraterrestrial visitation. For them, Lazar wasn't just a witness, he was a whistleblower, risking his own safety to reveal a monumental truth. The official response to Lazar's claims was largely dismissive, further fueling the conspiracy narrative. The inability to definitively verify his past employment and academic credentials, while raising legitimate questions for skeptics, was interpreted by many believers as part of a deliberate government smear campaign to discredit him and suppress the truth. This dynamic of claim and counterclaim only deepened the mystery and solidified Lazar's status as a persecuted truth-teller in the eyes of his followers. Lazar's story didn't emerge in a vacuum. It tapped into pre-existing beliefs about crashed UFOs, like Roswell, government cover-ups, and the potential for alien contact. His testimony provided a seemingly coherent framework that connected these disparate threads, offering a grand unified theory of extraterrestrial secrecy centered around Area 51. This synergy with existing beliefs amplified the power and longevity of his narrative. Decades later, the Bob Lazar phenomenon continues to exert a powerful influence on the Area 51 mythology. His story, despite the lack of concrete evidence, remains a cornerstone of alien conspiracy theories, shaping popular culture and inspiring countless books, documentaries, and fictional works. It speaks to a fundamental human desire to understand the unknown, even if that understanding requires embracing extraordinary possibilities and questioning established authority. The human psyche is inherently uncomfortable with the unknown, especially when that unknown is perceived to be deliberately concealed by those in power. The official silence surrounding Area 51 wasn't just a lack of information, it was a perceived withholding of truth, which can breed suspicion, anxiety, and a deep-seated need to find alternative explanations, no matter how unconventional. This psychological discomfort fueled a relentless search for answers outside the official channels. For decades, the official stance of the United States government regarding Area 51 was one of near total silence. When pressed for information about the mysterious base in the Nevada desert, officials typically offered non-committal responses, often downplaying its significance or outright denying its very existence for many years. The reasons for this official silence, as we've touched upon, were rooted in national security. The activities at Groom Lake involved the development and testing of highly classified aircraft and technologies. Revealing these details to the public, and potentially to adversaries, could have had serious consequences during the Cold War and beyond. However, this prolonged silence had unintended consequences. In the absence of credible official information, a vacuum was created, which was readily filled by speculation and conjecture. The very act of denying or refusing to discuss Area 51 only amplified its mystique in the public imagination. If it was just an ordinary air base, many reasoned, why the extreme secrecy? The government's silence inadvertently fostered an environment of distrust. For those inclined to believe in hidden truths, the official denials were seen not as responsible safeguarding of classified information, but as evidence of a deliberate cover-up. This erosion of trust paved the way for alternative narratives, often involving extraterrestrial encounters, to gain greater traction and credibility. The information vacuum created by the official silence also allowed individuals with sensational claims, like Bob Lazar, to gain significant influence. In the absence of verifiable facts, their narratives, however extraordinary, offered a seemingly coherent explanation that resonated with the public's desire for answers. These individuals often became gurus within the UFO community, their credibility enhanced by the perceived failure of official sources to provide any meaningful information. It wasn't until decades later that the US government began to officially acknowledge the existence and purpose of Area 51, primarily in the context of its role in developing advanced aircraft. However, these partial acknowledgments often lacked the specific details that many sought, leaving room for the older, more sensational theories to persist. The official silence surrounding Area 51, while initially intended to protect national security, ultimately contributed significantly to the enduring myths and conspiracy theories that define its legacy. The decades of denial and obfuscation created a fertile ground for speculation, eroding trust and allowing extraordinary claims to flourish in the absence of verifiable truth. The intense secrecy surrounding the activities at Groom Lake was not an arbitrary decision. It was a direct consequence of the Cold War context. The aircraft being developed and tested there represented cutting-edge, strategically vital technologies. Their existence and capabilities had to be protected at all costs from Soviet intelligence. Any leak of information could have compromised national security and given the Soviets a significant advantage. The information gleaned from the reconnaissance flights conducted by aircraft developed at Groom Lake proved to be invaluable during the Cold War. These flights provided crucial intelligence on Soviet military deployments, missile sites, and technological advancements, playing a vital role in informing U.S. foreign policy and preventing potential conflicts based on misinformation or miscalculation. The secrecy surrounding the base was, in this context, a necessary evil, a shield protecting a critical national asset. Understanding the Cold War context is essential to understanding the initial and enduring secrecy surrounding Area 51. It was not born out of a desire to conceal extraterrestrial encounters, but out of a very real and pressing need to protect vital national security interests during a period of intense global rivalry and the constant threat of nuclear war. The secrets held within the Nevada desert were terrestrial, born of human ingenuity and the exigencies of a dangerous era. In the mid-1950s, as the Cold War intensified, the Lockheed Aircraft Corporation, under the visionary leadership of Kelly Johnson, secretly developed an aircraft unlike any other, the U-2. This high-altitude reconnaissance plane was a marvel of engineering, designed to fly at altitudes exceeding 70,000 feet, far beyond the reach of contemporary fighter jets and most known air defenses. The U-2's primary mission was to conduct clandestine surveillance flights over Soviet territory, providing critical intelligence on military installations, weapons development, and troop movements. Its ability to fly at such extreme altitudes allowed it to operate with relative impunity, becoming the eyes and ears of the United States during a perilous period. The information it gathered was invaluable for strategic planning and preventing potential conflicts. The U-2's exceptional flight characteristics inadvertently played a significant role in the burgeoning UFO phenomenon, flying at altitudes previously unseen by commercial pilots and the general public, and often appearing as a silvery object reflecting sunlight in the upper atmosphere. The U-2 was frequently mistaken for something far more exotic. Because the U-2 program was highly classified, the government could not reveal the true nature of these sightings. Official explanations were often vague or dismissive, further fueling speculation that something extraordinary was indeed occurring. The silence surrounding the U-2 inadvertently validated the more sensational interpretations of these aerial encounters. The now infamous weather balloon explanation, often cited in connection with UFO sightings, including Roswell, was sometimes used as a cover for U-2 test flights or accidental sightings. While weather balloons do exist, their use as a blanket explanation for numerous high-altitude, fast-moving objects only served to further erode public trust and fuel conspiracy theories. The U-2 program provides a crucial key to understanding many of the early mysteries surrounding Area 51 and the initial wave of UFO sightings. What appeared to be otherworldly phenomena to many were often the result of encounters with this groundbreaking, top-secret aircraft, operating at the very edge of the Earth's atmosphere. The secrecy surrounding its development and missions inadvertently laid the foundation for the enduring myths that would later take hold. Section 10. Declassified Documents. For decades, the true nature of Area 51 remained shrouded in mystery, fueled by speculation and the government's persistent silence. However, in recent years, a significant number of documents related to the base and its activities have been declassified, offering a glimpse into the realities behind the myths. One of the most significant revelations from these declassified documents is the direct link between U-2 test flights and the surge in UFO sightings during the 1950s and 60s. A CIA report, now publicly available, explicitly states that over half of all UFO reports during that period were likely attributable to sightings of the U-2, an aircraft operating at altitudes previously unseen by the public. The declassified documents offer a crucial piece of the puzzle, linking many of the early mysteries to the cutting-edge aviation programs of the Cold War. To gain a deeper understanding of this context and the rationale behind the intense secrecy, we turn to the insights of aviation historians. As aviation historian Dr. Anna Reed explains, the urgency of the Cold War cannot be overstated. The Soviet Union represented a significant threat, and the ability to gather intelligence, to see what they were developing, where their forces were positioned, was absolutely vital for national security. High-altitude reconnaissance was a game changer. The aircraft being developed and tested at remote locations like Groom Lake were not simply incremental improvements. They were radical leaps in aviation technology, pushing the boundaries of speed, altitude, and stealth. Protecting the details of these advancements from falling into enemy hands was a paramount concern. To understand the engineering perspective, we turn to those who were involved in these projects. According to retired aerospace engineer Mr. Mark Jenkins, we were operating in a world where technological surprise could have catastrophic consequences. The specifics of our aircraft's capabilities, its radar signature, its operational ceiling, its payload, these were secrets we guarded fiercely. Any leak could have compromised our strategic advantage. The unusual shapes and flight characteristics of these experimental aircraft, combined with the high altitudes at which they often operated, naturally led to public curiosity. In an era before widespread air travel and sophisticated radar tracking available to the public, these aerial phenomena were truly unexplained. Dr. Reed further clarifies, the secrecy surrounding Area 51, while contributing to the mythology, was ultimately a byproduct of a very real and pressing need for national security during a tense geopolitical period. The focus wasn't on concealing extraterrestrial encounters, it was on safeguarding cutting-edge technology that was critical to the defense of the nation. The insights from experts in aviation history and engineering, combined with the revelations from declassified documents, begin to paint a clearer picture. The mysteries of Area 51, while captivating, are largely rooted in the very human endeavors of innovation and the strategic necessities of a dangerous era. The unidentified objects were often our own, their true nature concealed not to hide aliens, but to protect vital national interests. Our journey into the enigma of Area 51 began with a spark of curiosity, a wondering about the hidden truths behind the fences. As we delved deeper, that curiosity often gave way to concern, fueled by the weight of secrecy and the compelling nature of the unexplained. The confusion that shrouded Area 51 for so long, the swirling vortex of speculation and unanswered questions, has gradually given way to clarity. The declassified documents, the insights of experts, and the historical context of the Cold War have illuminated the reasons behind the secrecy and the likely origins of many of the unidentified phenomena. And with this clarity comes empowerment, the power to understand, to discern fact from fiction, and to appreciate the remarkable human achievements that unfolded within those guarded borders. The truth of Area 51, while different from the myths, is a testament to human ingenuity and the strategic necessities of a complex world. So, as the mystery of Area 51 recedes, let us carry forward the lessons learned. Let curiosity be tempered by critical thinking, concern by the pursuit of truth, and confusion by the empowering light of clarity. The real story of Area 51 is not about what lies beyond the stars, but about what we, as humans, are capable of achieving, and the importance of understanding the world around us with informed and discerning minds. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.